Welcome back to another series of The Art of Living. Today, I wanted to unpack my thoughts and perspectives on the idea that we hear coined as death and rebirth, as the ending of a cycle, the beginning of something new. And what's been coming to my mind in regards to this subject is that it's such an ebb and flow in our life. There's always something coming in, coming out. And in the process of energy, we have energy that has been maybe from our lineage, from a past experience, from trauma, from what's going on in our current situation. And so there's always this process of filtration and understanding and just seeing what energies we want to be expressing, that we want to be allowing in our life. So when it comes to one of the guiding principles is really the old self versus the new self, and the process of death and rebirth, which is also a part of energy alchemy. It's this process where we allow the old self to, in a way, have a death process, and then that allows for new growth. And what's really coming to my mind when I hear that is expansion. It means that we are growing through this natural process of death and rebirth, where a part of us is now alchemized. It looks a little bit different. It has a little bit less say in our life. And now we're expanding into another new version. So where we see this is actually in nature. If you take the trees, for example, and plants, they have the shrub that gets old and the leaves that shrivel up and die. And then what comes? Another leaf, another new growth. It's absolutely so simplistic. And they do this so naturally. And so this is something that we can do naturally. It can be easy and effortless. It can be an ebb and flow of energies in and out, just like nature does. And so there doesn't have to be so much resistance to this process of growth. And that death can actually mean life, can actually mean expansion. And from my personal perspective, I believe that when we die, we're going to expand into our full self in some way or another. That actually in this tree form, in this natural form, we're not actually experiencing us at the full level. We're in some kind of capsule within the human body, and the human body is allowing us to experience itself in this way. But I don't think it's talked about enough, where we are very much natural beings. We function very naturally. And so it's not unnatural for us to have death and rebirth. Seasonally, it can be in a cycle, but we have to allow this. And the more we allow this process to ebb and flow in our life, the easier it becomes and the more expansion we grow. We become better versions of ourselves or expanded versions of ourselves. We exist in different ways and we allow that growth to happen. We allow the death to happen. And this is a very conscious, aware process with oneself. This is being very, very aware of the inner workings of our being, the inner workings of the subconscious. And so one of our other guiding principles, which will be another episode, but we'll be talking about how much the subconscious really plays a part in how we are showing up in our lives and in our realities. So being able to understand your subconscious, there is going to be a lot of power and freedom and ability to shift the reality, to shift your life into something that is resonating with you at the time. And if you as human beings, as part of the natural world, it's part of our nature to want to grow. It's part of our nature to want to experience life in this expanded way. So it's completely natural for us to go through periods of our life where that's the old version of me, and I want to see what this new version can become. And again, we probably can all think of cycles in our life where we've, maybe we physically done something that we no longer do anymore. Maybe we're not with the same people we used to be with, the same partners, the same relationships. Maybe we don't talk the same. Maybe we don't look the same. And that is a physical representation of the inward energy alchemy and the death and rebirth cycle. So during a journey like this, when you take on that kind of conscious process now, of saying, there is something that I want to let go of. There is a part of me. Maybe it's trauma, the past. Maybe it's a wound. Maybe it's a behavior. Maybe it's something you're like, I just don't want to feel this way anymore. That is because now you're being able to acknowledge old parts of you, and you're becoming an energy alchemizer when you begin to do this. And then, this allows you to create more human experiences, more experiences in the universe. It allows you to start creating more art, more beautiful things in your life that maybe you wouldn't have done otherwise. Maybe because this old part of you is like, nope, that doesn't work for me. But there's this other part of you that's kind of pushing you to expand in this way. So this really is so natural for us. It's the guiding principle in the course. So if you do go through the 5-work journey, you're going to actually spend time and learn and develop this practice of being able to allow yourself the ebb and flow to become a natural being in the natural world. You're going to be expanding this idea just as nature does. And at first, maybe this might be a little uncomfortable. There's growing pains, there's expansion pains, there's uneasiness, there's also this ambiguity of, what does the new version look like? How do I get there? How do the trees grow? How do they get there? They make it happen, and they end up growing and expanding. So we will make it through. We will grow, we will expand. That's without a doubt, one way or another. But the point here is that we can play a little bit more with this process. It doesn't have to be so daunting or uncomfortable at times. It can actually be more fun, and it will actually almost accelerate and activate this growth in us, where we no longer have to wait so long. We don't have to wait years to change something about us. We can do this within a process. We can do this over a few weeks. We can do this within a day. I believe in instantaneous shifting. I believe as soon as we recognize something in the subconscious and this whole process takes over and it says, oh, we've recognized a cycle. We've recognized something that wants to come to an end, and the mechanism starts to already go to work for us. So if we can activate that within ourselves, how much more quickly can we achieve things? How much more fun, how much more art we can get into. So it's really an exciting process to understand that. So death means life. Death means expansion. It means that we're actually going to be diving into other things now. And so it's not something to be feared, but revered, where this process is sacred. It's natural. It's not an unnatural process to have a death. And a big key of death is letting go, is being willing and open to say, I'm willing to let this version of myself go. I'm willing to let her go for now, so that this other part of me can start creating, can start flowing, can start coming in. So sometimes we do need healing. Sometimes we do need to declutter our energy to start to uncover more things about ourselves. So this really is about self-discovery. It's about self-inquiry. It's about diving deep into what potential I have if you want to choose to go there. So it's an exciting process, and it is very much one of the big guiding principles of my Art of Living series, and we will uncover it during the 5-week journey. But this is the big point. This is our big topic for this week, and I will have another guiding principle out next week. Thank you so much for tuning in.